We good?
Ready when you are, Coach.
I'd like to start off just thanking the game ops folks and how special it was, military appreciation game, and all the stuff that went into that tonight. It's a great shout out to our military, active and retired, and seeing them all there was special. I also want to give Coach Hennis and our women's cross country team a shout out for winning national championship. Pretty awesome for them to be able to do that. As far as the game goes, it's pretty cool to be in a game where you score all three phases of the game, to have a offense, obviously we're going to score, but defensive touchdown with Drake, a special teams touchdown, back-to-back games now for Bam. To see the Thomas brothers both score touchdowns was pretty cool in a game. So a lot of, really good stuff. I think defending them is a challenge with all the different run things they do. And, my hat's off to Sean Tucker and Garrett Schrader. I think they're both good runners, tough kids. As far as our guys go, I thought, first quarter, we wanted to start fast and didn't. So that was disappointing defense. We did, and then we settled in and then just started getting on a roll. I thought it was good to see our run game get better and improve. And even though the total yards, weren't what we wanted, but there were some really positive runs. There were some time-consuming drives, which ended with points on the board. And so all those things together, and offensively took care of the football with no turnovers. So a lot of things we wanted to do tonight, we're able to do. And a lot of guys playing, with some pain out there and playing a physical game. So proud of our guys for that. Obviously now a chance to move forward and have a championship week. Senior day, play our rival, all those things. And, we don't control obviously what happens with Wake Forest, but on our end, we have a chance to put ourselves in a position where if they lose and we win, we're in. So a lot to play for coming up and looking forward to that opportunity. And with that, I'll open it up.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Dave, you guys had, I think, 14 tackles for loss today. How important was the ability to get in and make plays with their backfield? And what do you think allowed you guys to do that today?
Well, it looked like, the guys did a good job setting the line of scrimmage, shedding blocks and playing downhill, particularly in the first half. I thought we were really, really good. We tackled well for the most part. There's a couple schemes that they ran that we didn't practice that they put in that got outside of on the edge on us a couple times. And one turned into a big play for them. But overall, we were trying to get them behind the chains and seeing if they could throw the ball down the field to win, which we didn't think they could. And that proved to be right. So I thought it was a really good game plan. And there's a lot of adjusting going on. There's probably 25 unbalanced formations Syracuse was in that game. So a lot more of that than we expected.
Go ahead, David.
Do you have any concern going forward that teams are going to stop kicking the ball to Zonovan Knight? Yeah,
it could happen. I think some people trust their kicker to kick touchbacks and, I guess you can start skying it. And if you do that, there's potential we can get returns to the field. We've got Jordan Houston set up over there and we're not just going to fair catch the ball all night and let you do that. So something that they could do week to week. It just depends on the strength of the leg of the kicker. And we knew going into this game, he was about 1 out of 3 for touchbacks. So we thought we would get, 66% of the time a chance at a return. And I was happy to see the guys execute. And obviously it was a great run by Bam.
Go ahead, Jonas.
What you said, obviously you guys can only control what you can control moving forward. Before the game, did you guys realize what was happening with Simpson and Wake? Was that brought up like, hey, that part's done, and it helps us if we take care of business? Was that mentioned at all in the locker room before you guys came out?
I think our guys were watching that game. We were in pregame meal, and you could see everybody looking at their phone. So that was right when their game was going on. Obviously, we didn't see the second half because we were in warm-ups at that time. But our guys, I think, assumed that, and I'm sure they knew. Tried to keep more of our attention, Jonas, on the game we were playing than the one that was being played somewhere else. But I think our guys had a pretty good idea what was going to be the outcome of that game after they saw the first half. So, again, it's we put ourselves in a position where we don't control the finish, unfortunately, last week, but we do control, what happens if we can get a win here at home next week on senior day against our rival, and that's what we'll focus on. Obviously, we'll be Boston College fans this week, pulling for them too.
Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, Dave, you've talked all season about the maturity of this team. I'm sure that you are not surprised the way they bounced back from the disappointment last week, but what does it say about how they reacted and how they came out here tonight?
Well, they were disappointed, upset, Matt, all the above, losing last week's game. They knew that there were plays we left on the field. They also are, I think, a smart bunch of guys that know that Wake has to play back-to-back road games against two good teams. So we weren't out of it. This was just a matter of getting back to what we could control. That was winning out at home. One of our goals is to be undefeated in the Carter. And right now we're one game away from pulling that where we want it to be. And that means a lot to our team. I know this coming week's going to mean a ton to them with senior day. There's a bunch of really good guys on this football team that deserve to go out their last time at home winners. And that's going to be very meaningful for this team this week.
All right, last question for Coach from Andrew.
Dave, you talked quite a bit about playing complementary football. It doesn't get much more than that second quarter with all three phases scoring a touchdown. How good was that to see, especially with, it kind of sparking you guys awake after a bit of a slow start?
Yeah, it was huge. I think that's what complementary football is. It's setting up either side of the ball. It's gaining momentum for either side of the ball, the special teams play. We've talked so much about it. The guys have embraced it. As one of the things in our leadership council meeting, Bryson Spees talked about, it's not just playing complementary football, but it's doing it at the right times and having sequential plays and drives off of each other and feeding each other. And that quarter was as good as it could be.